Really excited about this new E1 Moog guitar. I've been doing a lot of touring and recording with this guitar, and it has inspired me to come here and show it off to you guys. It's pretty much brand new here by Moog Music. It's the E1 Moog guitar. Some of the most amazing features about it are the fact that it has the ability to infinite sustain, playing a chord or a note, and just having it ring forever and ever and ever. I'm not even using my right hand here, you'll notice. There are 6 individual filters. The famous Bob Moog filters are in this guitar. So if I'm sitting here in filter mode, I can show you that in this mode here, with this toggle switch up, the filter, I can scroll through the resonance of the filter from my left foot here. If I have the toggle switch in the middle, I'm now in something called articulated filter mode, which now the guitar will filter itself. I am just basically setting the starting point with the pedal, so if I have the pedal all the way down, it's the largest filter I could make. And then with the toggle switch all the way down, this is my favorite mode. This is called harmonic blend. What it's basically doing is the way the guitar sustains, it sustains from the magnetic energy that's released from these pickups here. And I'm basically with this harmonic blend mode with my foot. You also have it in a knob here. This is a harmonic blend knob. But with my foot, I am going to be able to tell the guitar where I want this energy to basically come from. Do I want it to come from more of the neck pickup or more of the bridge pickup? And based on where that energy comes from is basically the harmonics of the sustain that I'm going to play, which kind of simulates feedback in some ways. I'll give you an example. Right now this is going to be energy coming mostly from the neck pickup, but as I scroll down with my foot, and anywhere in between, I can kind of go middle of the road with it. That's a really cool mode there. The other thing too is that that's this guitar I'm playing for you right now is in infinite sustain, which is the toggle switch all the way to the left. With it in the middle, it's sort of a limited sustain mode, or it'll just sustain the note that you're playing. So if you're playing a guitar solo, let's say, you don't have to worry about all the other strings resonating and feeding back while you're playing, because in this mode, it'll know what string you're playing and just sustain that mode. And that'll just sit there and sustain all day. But the other strings, as you notice, aren't ringing. As soon as I put it in infinite sustain mode, now all the other strings will start to resonate as well. The other thing about this guitar is just a basic function is that if I put this switch all the way down, it has a piezo pickup in it, and it can be just an acoustic guitar as well, which we don't hear. So like a lot of high-end guitars now, we have piezo in the saddles here, so we have acoustic. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4 position electric switch here for the electric pickups. I think it's bridge, in phase, out of phase, and neck. And one thing that now you can get the MIDI guitar, you can get the Moog guitar with, is a 13-pin MIDI output, which now allows us to connect the Moog guitar to any of the Roland or any 13-pin connectivity. So, for instance, there's an Axon sitting over there. There's the Roland GR30s. There's the VG99s. All of those great guitar preamps are now able to be accessed by this guitar. And the fact that this guitar has infinite sustain makes that a whole new world as well, because you can infinitely sustain through MIDI whatever you're controlling. So, for instance, here I have a MIDI patch. You'll notice it's a string patch, like a pad, but if I don't let go of this chord, it's just not going to stop. So I'm infinitely sustaining a MIDI device right now. Opening up a whole new world and a whole other can of worms right there. And of course you can split the two, so you can have your electric going, your MIDI going, your acoustic going, all of the above, all at the same time. Another thing that's incredible about the Moog guitar is that it's all analog. Everything that's happening, this is not a modeling guitar, it's not sustaining through some sort of a chip or some modeling device. It's happening through actual energy coming off the pickups. It's analog. If I shut the amp off and held the guitar down, you'd be able to hear this guitar resonate the way it's resonating with your ears. It's happening on the guitar, so it's all analog. Because it's all analog, we have a control voltage input on the pedal of the guitar. So this guitar, when you buy this guitar, it comes with this pedal here. This pedal is part of the electronics of the guitar. The pedal has a control voltage input. The pedal also actually powers the guitar. If you take this cable out of the guitar is no longer powered and no longer sustained. So you have to have the pedal connected to the guitar. When you play the guitar has a control voltage input on the guitar. So that opens up a whole other world. The guitar now becomes like a real synthesizer that you can control from other sources. This guitar can be locked, MIDI time locked, to, let's say, a laptop playing a track, to, let's say, a drum machine, whatever you can imagine. And you can send MIDI out of that device, and you can send it, let's say, via a MP201 right here, MIDI into the 201, and then a control voltage out into the guitar. Now I can lock this guitar to anything MIDI. An example of that right here, I think I can make. If you'll notice, that's a pulse. You might be able to see that blinking light here on this pedal here. That blinking light is an LFO that I'm sending with just a guitar cable out of the unit that's sending that LFO into the inside of this pedal, and now this guitar is pulsing that light. Now imagine if something was controlling the pulse on that pedal. So if you had a track playing, now my guitar is actually in sync with whatever I'm playing. It's a really powerful thing. The other thing, for instance, a controller that I can use. Here's a Etherwave Plus. Has a control voltage, has a few control voltage outputs on it. The one that I'm using is the pitch voltage out, and I'm going to use the Etherwave Theremin Plus to control, to affect the guitar. And that can be done, you can just, it's endless. Anything that has a control voltage output on it can control this guitar. So it just creates a whole other world of effects. Anyway, so you basically have infinite sustain. You have mute mode on this guitar. If I take this guitar and turn it all the way this way, now the energy that usually sustains the strings is now sucking the energy out of the strings, and it's kind of more like a banjo. It just has a quick attack and it dies. Okay, so you have mute mode, you have sustain mode, you have an acoustic piezo pickup, you have MIDI. So you have a multiple voice guitar here, the Moog E1 guitar, infinite sustain. Very, very creative tool. I've been recording with it. I can't seem to put it down. So if you have any questions, I'll just be walking around, but thanks for listening.